This piece is also from a year ago from the show at Anchor House. It's called Tail Chasing Brush. For obvious reasons, this would be the tail. Again, formed from a tool that I found. I've had it so long I don't even remember where I found it, probably at a flea market or a tag sale. So the found piece ends at the end of the ferrule here, the plastic ferrule, and I had to ask a couple of friends of mine who are artists and tool users what it was. And as close as we can tell, it was a stencil brush. You pounce stencils, so you create a paper pattern, put it on the wall of the object, and then stipple and they call it pounce painting, the ink or the paint through the stencil. So it does have a connection here. It's actually a threaded connection that I created. Again, the handle is laminated. It appears to be one piece of wood. It's not. It's about 10 or 12 pieces of wood that have been laminated around a very tiny form and then left square here and made into the handle. Again, because it's part of the New Paradigm Tool Company collection, it is non-functional. It's absurd. You might be able to use it, but obviously its use is so abstracted and so obscure that you know, I don't know what it would be for. So it's again pointing at tools that have fallen out of use because no one wants to use them or knows how to use them or has forgotten how to use them, and just neglect. So my inspiration comes from, it's a beautiful object and very well made, and made in a time that would not be reproduced today. This is a metal bit. It's probably natural bristle. It just wouldn't be made this way except by a bespoke brush maker, perhaps. But no company is going to go into business making something like this. So that in itself is fascinating to me, that we've gotten to a point where we have all this technology to make almost anything, but that certain everyday items that would have been in painters' kits years ago are just not there because the cost-benefit analysis, the cost per product for the company to make it, the cost to the user is at a place where, no, we would buy 10 of these in a package, use it one time and throw it away. And pretty much when you paint your bedroom, that's what you do. You go buy the kit at the store and you paint the wall and everything gets thrown away. And my dad used to talk about cleaning brushes and how when you were done, you weren't done. Then it was time to go clean the brush. And he had a whole rigorous bunch of steps that he went through, and then he would test the brush. I had a shop teacher in junior high who would look at your brush when you were done and wipe it across your nose. And if it was clean enough, you were good. But if it wasn't, you were in trouble. So those kinds of lessons stuck with me over time. And they keep coming back into my consciousness now as reminders of how important tools were to me and how early in my life I was introduced to them, even if it was something as mundane as painting the deck, you know, painting the back porch in my house. My brother at one side and me at the other, and meeting in the middle and arguing with each other about hurrying up or slowing down. And then, okay, who's going to clean up? So I chose a career of tool use and sometimes tool making, and it's fascinating for me. And now I'm trying to reach out and look at the world around me and say, what's going on? Why so few tool users? Why so much mechanization? And cell phones and computers are wonderful, but we've forgotten the simple pleasures of sweeping. You know, I studied Zen philosophy when I was younger, in my 20s, and the chop wood, carry water concept of a daily ritual pattern of something as simple as, you know, boiling the water for tea and then making the tea and then drinking the tea. a very Eastern perhaps philosophy, but in Europe, you walk down a street early in the morning and the shopkeepers are sweeping their stoop and throwing the water out and cleaning the sidewalk. And it's just unheard of in our culture. You know, we have street sweeping machines, and now we have machines that run down the side of the road with a giant, ugly mass of blades and cutters and chop at the bushes and make a big mess. And it's efficient, but there could be workers or people hired to go out there with hedge clippers and rakes and do the same job. So I guess I'm wishing that as a society we respected our hand workers, our hand tool workers, our hand laborers more, and we found more places for them to work. Almost anybody can dig a ditch or push a broom, and there's nothing wrong with that kind of labor. You know, our streets could be cleaner, our public places could be cleaner. There's a lot to what I'm doing that really gets into the social ecology of a community and areas where I have no expertise, but I see a need in that part of the culture.